Blog Talk Radio.
Your number one source for knowledge in the information age. High Frequency Radio Network.
This is how I think, blow it out of my mind. Feeling like committing a crime. Get a lot for that. I won't snitch, I ain't dropping a dime. I'm a self-made hustler, top of the line.
All right, all right. Real talk, man. We giving everybody a chance to definitely get in where they fit in. This is WTDTA Radio, where we're featuring, oh man, trustee training in its finest. Today is a big day for the Treasury. We see a lot of disbursements, a lot of movement taking place. Trustees, today is the day, so I hope you got your stuff together. I hope you get it together. My mentor getting ready to come in and bless the airwaves, let everybody know what's up and what's happening. So all I want you to do is just get in where you fit in, do what you need to do. Come on in through the YouTube link if you actually got access to it. And again, each and everything that we actually profess in this particular segment is for educational purposes only. We do not profess to give legal advice. Each and everything that you're listening to in this particular segment is for educational purposes only. If you actually hear anything in this particular broadcast or training that actually constitutes you actually seeking out legal advice, we actually ask that you actually go out there and get that information directly from the horse's mouth. Because here on WTDTA Radio, we are here to only give you not legal advice, but educational information only. You gotta apply it properly, fellas. You gotta apply it properly. So keep listening. This is Trustee Training. You're with your host, Bezel Bay. We got a lot of good exclusive content coming through. It's my mentor, So L. He's gonna be talking about how to acquire precious metals. And if you are actually CECL compliant, you do not, I repeat, you do not want to miss how to do this.
All right. I would like to welcome you to another episode of The Foundation here on High Frequency Radio Network. I am your host, So L, Seeker of Truth L, Speaker of Truth L, and it is my pleasure to welcome you once again, where we understand incorrect information incorrectly applied can get you hurt. Correct information incorrectly applied can get you hurt. So we're looking to correctly apply correct information. Definitely want to say this is The Foundation and we are high frequency. Definitely want to say all thanks, honors, and praises go to the Creator and the ancestors. I want to say peace, big up, shout out, salute, what's up, holla black, to my big brother, Yusuf L. I call him, big brother, Uncle Yusuf. People be like, he your uncle. Is he really your brother? No, he's not my uncle. He's not really my brother. But it seems like that, when you're in his presence. And if you've been in his presence, you agree. If not, hey, maybe, hey. But that's my guy. And that's, Yusuf, man, High Frequency Radio Network, man. He created this whole thing. This whole little platform I've been standing on
for over 4 years now. You know what I'm saying? So real recognized, real game recognized game. Can't be falsy. Can't be flimsy. So High Frequency Radio Network, I say it proud. He over there with SPC University, Private Side Solutions. You need to check him out. You know, my man's doing his dance. I definitely want to invite you to check out welcome to thefoundation.com. Definitely sign up for the email list. You can find the Facebook page, the Twitter page, the Instagram page if you do that dance. But most definitely check out the PDF section. Get your free learn on. Just download that stuff, bounce. At the very least, you ain't got to do nothing more than that. You can skedaddle. You can make a donation. You can book a consultation. You can find the education page as well. All from the same spot. Welcome to thefoundation.com. I want to say peace to all the listeners. I want to say peace to all the live listeners, as well as all the live callers, as well as all the internet live listeners. I want to say peace to all the archive listeners. Salute all the podcast listeners, MP3 listeners, those who sending MP3s back to each other, downloading it. You know, I didn't get it. Here you go. Shout out to you. Bootleg all these shows. Bootleg every foundation show that you can get your hand on. Bootleg my chunk. I want to say peace to all the trustees in private trustee training. Salute. As well as, you know, everybody investing in their private education. I also want to say peace to anyone we've done business with in the private. Anyone who sent an email, well wishes, current event, you know, or otherwise added to the foundation. Big thing going on, you know. We got a couple days left, man, until the 29th, which is, you know, 25. I don't know if you know, but we're doing 25% off, man. You know, everything from consultations to trustee training. But you can go to welcometothefoundation.com. Actually, do not do that. Email admin@welcometothefoundation.com. I mean, everything. Passport, no social. Part 1, Part 2, the Shake and Bake Layup, the Foundation Trust Primer, the Foundation Trust Series, Part 1 and 2, you know, trustee training. Like I said, consultations, all that stuff. 25% off until midnight, February 29th. Once again, that's midnight, February 29th, and 55% off everything. All of that, everything. 55% off if you make your donation in real money, precious metals. Now, that doesn't include shipping and tax. If you got to pay tax in your jurisdiction, hey, that's terrible. That's not on the foundation. Also, if you got to, you know, the shipping as well, that's not on the foundation. But 55% off until the 29th, midnight, on everything offered here on the foundation. You know, it's not that much, but, you know, I think there's a lot of value, especially when you're looking at the trustee training. There's a lot of value in there. And that's until the 29th. You know, midnight, it's on you. That's the offer. You know, acceptance is on you, whether or not you would like to contract, you know, completely up to you. I'm just putting an offer out there. I want to remind y'all, let y'all know. I know a lot of people be in the archives. You know, we got to be a lot of new listeners, and they'll be hearing this, and it'll be like late, months late, sometimes years late, and I apologize for that. I really do. But for those of us currently, you know, doing this dance, there's definitely a benefit. So 25% off, just straight up fiat, debit card, credit card, you know, whatever. 55% off if you're doing precious metals, real money. And that's everything. Everything offered here at the foundation. So definitely want to let you know that, you know. I think that's, you know, hey, I think it's pretty dope. I don't know what you think. You can tell me what you think. I can't guarantee I would, you know, really care. Really, as gold rises, ultimately, you know, I do want to remind you, you know, Carrot Bars. Y'all can hit me up, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. As little as like $10, you can start grabbing gold. You know, 1/10 of a gram at a time. You know, gold is getting up there, man. It's like $16.50 $1,650. Actually, let me quit guessing because that's just a range. But I'm about to look it up real time. Real time. In real time, yeah. Gold is $1,641.80. And as it continues to go higher and higher, which I do assume that it will. I think Karatbars and companies that offer a means to get your hands and for people to get their hands on small denominations of gold are going to become more and more relevant. So right now, while it's still low, but either way, I think getting your hands on silver, getting your hands on gold is very important, especially with what's going on. Especially with what's going on. So I'm gonna jump into these current events. Email me though, admin at welcometothefoundation.com, and then the 25% off, 55% off, 25% off fiat, 55% off real money. Admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Do not go to the website because the websites are the regular offerings. And you're gonna have to email me. But 29th at midnight is when this is over. It's a wrap, Rizzle team. So moving on, let's jump into these, current events. Current events. And I'm just gonna tell you, I got nothing good for you. Nothing good for you. Nothing good. But we're gonna jump in here. Reuters, US consumer spending could see 1-2 punch from stocks drop. Coronavirus. New York. Reuters, the coronavirus outbreak has yet to spread meaningfully to U.S. shores, but fears of it alone have already eviscerated some $2 trillion. Was that again? $2 trillion eviscerated, gone, peace. We out of here. $2 trillion of the American stock market value, setting off a market rout that could stymie consumer spending even before other economic effects of the disease are felt. Economists now see the virus, its effect on markets, and its potential to dampen consumer confidence as the biggest risk to a record-long economic boom. Quote, the tightening of financial conditions, I think, is really the key game changer in this outbreak, end quote. This is Gregory Dacko, chief U.S. economist for Oxford Economics. The rise in global cases and warnings that the virus could spread in the United States caused stocks to fall, the dollar to strengthen, and corporate spreads to widen. Dacko said. The volatility also means some consumers with an eye to retirement may curtail their spending, he added. Quote, you tend to be more cautious about your outlook because you're worried, end quote. Dacko. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to say the word right. At least one of those, hopefully, you're right. While stock markets rallies do not always lead to a pickup in consumer spending, Americans have scaled back consumption during previous bouts of market volatility. Bottom line, Bloomberg.com, Yellen says coronavirus could throw U.S. economy into recession. She just said it. She came right out and said it. I guess no bones about it. You know what I mean? Recession. Janet Yellen. So this is the former Fed chief, whatever, dance. Jerome Powell took her spot. You know what I mean? Years ago, a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I don't know how long ago. But she straight up said, former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen said, depending on how widely the coronavirus spreads, the economic impact could have a significant impact on Europe and via the U.S.
Now, just to help you out, family. Those of you who don't know who Mr. Powell is, if you were actually in our broadcast last week and you heard them actually moving the mortgage-backed securities, the group that was moving the mortgage-backed securities back into silver or moving them into silver, that's the same as the power. So keep listening, because if you listen long enough, you're definitely gonna learn something. You're gonna learn today.
Likely. We had a pretty solid outlook before this happened, and there's some risk. But basically, I think the U.S. outlook looks pretty good. End quote. The global economy was weak but starting to recover before the virus hit, Yellen said. The shutdown of factories due to the outbreak in China will impact supply chains and cause a drop in consumer spending as people have been quarantined or cease traveling. Yellen, who spoke about the economy at an event held by Brookings Institution in Clinton Township, Michigan, also commented on the decline in the 10-year Treasury yield this week to historic lows. Yields have plunged as fears about the spreading coronavirus have rocked global financial markets. Market participants will look to the Fed to provide support, Yellen said. What does that mean? In most developed countries, interest rates are really low. Oh, that's what that means. And they're very low in the United States, but higher than they are in most other developed economies. And the Fed does have some scope. It's not a cure-all, but it will provide a little bit of support to consumer spending and to the U.S. economy and for financial markets. And of course, if it becomes very serious, fiscal policy could play a more active role too. We want to lower them interest rates and inject cash into the system. I don't know. I don't work at the Fed. Reuters exclusive. IMF World Bank consider virtual spring meetings as virus spreads. I mean, this is serious. I think this is serious. I think this is very serious. I think, growing concerns inside the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank about the spread of the new coronavirus have prompted the institutions to consider scaling back their spring meetings in April or hold them by teleconference. People familiar with the discussion said today the institution's April 17th to 19th spring meetings are scheduled to bring some 10,000 government officials, journalists, business people, and civil society representatives from across the globe to a tightly packed two-block area of downtown Washington, D.C. that houses their headquarters. The IMF has warned in recent days of potentially deeper economic fallout as the coronavirus spreads beyond China, cutting its forecast for 2020 global growth by 0.1%. Officials from both institutions and member governments said that talk of canceling the meetings outright is premature, but they are considering several options to modify them. No decisions have been made, they said, adding that much depends on efforts to contain the virus in the coming days and weeks. Man. Doesn't look good, homie. Global markets are slumping for a fifth straight day. U.S. shares moved higher by midday today, with the S&P rising 0.4% and the Dow gaining nearly 70 points. But European markets finished mixed. Germany, blah, blah, blah. In Israel, which is confirmed. I'm sorry, my bad. Why did I say Israel? In Brazil, which has confirmed its first coronavirus case. The country's benchmark index fell more than 5%. Losses piled up in Asia. U.S. stocks have plummeted in recent trading sessions on fear of the coronavirus. The Dow had lost more than 2,000 points in total over 4 days. Investors are concerned about how the coronavirus is weighing on consumer demand, manufacturing supply chains, and major economies around the world. Bloomberg.com. Bloomberg, this dude running for president. It's hilarious. Goldman sees virus lifting gold to $1,800 an ounce as last resort haven. Goldman Sachs Group boosted its gold forecast to $1,800 an ounce as the coronavirus depressed real rates and increased focus on the U.S. election continue to drive demand for the metal as a haven. The bank raised its 12-month projection by $200 and said, quote, in the event that the virus effect spreads to Q2, we could see the gold top $1,800 an ounce already on a 3-month basis, end quote. Spot gold, which has jumped more than 8% this year, closed at about $1,641 an ounce. Gold is trading at near a 7-year high, supported by increasing number of coronavirus cases worldwide that threaten to curtail global economic activity. The metal has outperformed traditional haven currencies, including the Japanese yen and Swiss franc, as the quote, haven of last resort, end quote. This is Goldman analyst Mikhail Sprogis. The bank expects prices to climb to $1,700 an ounce in 3 months and to $1,750 in 6 months. They previously forecast $1,600 for both time frames. Goldman also raised its silver forecast. And then last but not least, check out technology real quickie. Man, where did that go? Technical difficulties. Where did it go? Where is it? CNN Business Clearview AI. Clearview AI. This is a company. They have a software. Clearview Artificial Intelligence has billions of our photos. Its entire client list was just stolen. This is from today. Baby. A startup that compiles billions of photos for facial recognition technology said it lost its entire client list to hackers. The company said it has patched the unspecified flaw that allowed the breach to happen. Ooh, I trust you too. Do you trust him? I trust him. I don't know why you don't trust him if you don't. In a statement, Clearview AI's attorney said that while security is the company's top priority, quote, unfortunately, data breaches are part of our life. Our servers were never accessed, end quote. He added that the company continues to strengthen its security procedures and that the flaw has been patched. Clearview AI continues, quote, to work to strengthen our security, end quote. In a notification sent to customers obtained by the Daily Beast, Clearview AI said that an intruder, quote, gain unauthorized access, end quote, to its customer list, which includes police forces, law enforcement agencies, and banks. The company said that the person didn't obtain any search histories conducted by customers, which includes some police forces. The company claims to have scraped more than 300 billion photos from the internet, including photos from popular social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Y'all wonder why y'all can't really see my face out there, man. I don't be playing this. I'm private. The firm garnered controversy in January after a New York Times investigation revealed that Clearview AI's technology allowed law enforcement agencies to use this technology to match photos of unknown faces to people's online images. Gotcha. The company also retains those photos in its database even after internet users delete them from the platforms or make their accounts private. That prompted cease and desist letters from tech giants Twitter, Google, and Facebook. Some states, such as New Jersey, even enacted a statewide ban on law enforcement agencies using Clearview while it investigates the software. We're going to do this young investigation, you know what I'm saying? In an interview with CNN Business earlier this month, Clearview AI founder and CEO Hoan Ton That downplayed concerns about his technology. He said he wants to build a, quote, great American company, end quote, with, quote, the best of intentions, end quote. He said he wouldn't sell his product to Iran, Russia, or China, and claimed that the technology is saving kids and solving crimes. When people start talking about kids, man, oh man, children. I don't know, man. I always get the question. But that's it for current events. Appreciate y'all. Definitely appreciate y'all. Definitely. So, no, I'm sorry, it's not. There's one more. There's one more current event, and then we're out, and then we're gonna jump into the show. But we got one more current event. I gotta grab it. All right, there we go. White House considering tax incentive for more Americans to buy stocks. The White House is, look, as part of a forthcoming package of that's the final leg of the market melt up, is when the average person in Main Street starts investing and putting their money in the stock market, because there's no one else to put. Companies are buying their own stocks. I mean, the Treasury, look, the IRS, the repo markets. Just check out the repo markets, man. The proposal, one of many new tax cuts under consideration, would see a portion of household income treated as tax-free for the purposes of investing outside of traditional 401k. Under one hypothetical scenario described by multiple officials, a household earning up to $200,000 could invest $10,000 of that income on a tax-free basis. Although officials noted these numbers are fluid, they're moving. Hey, you never know. Nothing's ruled out, said one senior administrator. Nothing's been ruled in either. Larry Kudlow, director of the National Economic Council, told CNBC the approach looked at most closely centers on creating universal savings account, which would combine retirement, education, and healthcare savings into one vehicle. Of course it would. Money put into the account would be done so on an after-tax basis and taxed when withdrawn as well. Dang, double taxes. So you're gonna tax the money first, so then after taxes I can put it in, and then you're gonna tax when it's withdrawn. That sounds like a great deal. When can I sign up? But any accumulation of profits during the investment time frame, known as capital gains, would not be taxed. Oh, great. So if I so happen to make money on that investment, the money that it made is not taxed. Well, you better be a great trader, huh? This policy, if pursued, may extend to bonds as well. Great. Kudlow noted that this and other ideas have yet to be fleshed out, and no decisions have been made. The development comes as President Donald Trump seeks re-election this fall. He has sought to distinguish himself from his potential Democratic rivals by accusing them of pursuing socialist policies while he has started tax cuts and deregulation under his administration. Blah, 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 blah. They want you to invest in the stock market that's on a crazy melt-up that just went down 1,000 points. So you can lose your money. You can lose your money. You get to lose your money. Hey, congratulations. You get to lose some of your retirement money as well. Aren't you happy? I'm happy for you. Okay, so that's it for current events. I'm gonna jump into this. How to privately acquire precious metals, real money, privately, absolutely private. I mean, hey. There's 3 ways. Now hold on. There's 7 ways. No. There's 5 ways. I'm gonna keep it to 5, and then we're just gonna roll. I'm gonna keep it to 5. There's 5 ways to get your hands on real money privately. Okay. You can find it. What are the chances of finding it? You can inherit it. That's what most of us are beginning. We're going to start that type of dance, but that dance typically isn't really popping in our households. You can steal it. I don't recommend you stealing gold and silver, man. Most people that sell it, most places that have it, they got guns. They'll pop you, man. They'll pop you. And that's not cool. So that's 4. Find it, inherit it, steal it. That's 3, my bad. The 4th one is you can mine it. You can mine precious metals, silver, gold, platinum, palladium, whatever. You can mine it. It's not really realistic. Most of these ways of acquiring, precious metals or real money privately, it's not really realistic. The other one is you can buy it, right? So I'm not going to get into are you actually buying it because you're using Federal Reserve notes. But I'm talking about Federal Reserve notes. But before I get into that, I want to jump into this. Because I took some notes. Pardon me. I'm sorry. Please don't talk mess. I want y'all to look up, and maybe y'all should take some notes. Or maybe not. You don't have to. But Executive Order 6102. Executive Order 6102 and Executive Order 6814. Executive Order 6814. A lot of people will be like, man, you said it so fast, man. I didn't even get a chance to write it down. So I'm going to say it again. Executive Order 6102 and 6814. Okay? What's already happening right now and what's been happening for a while is there's mining, there's companies, there's people who mine gold, and there's something known as soft mining. And soft mining is when you see those cash for gold spots or we buy gold in the malls or in your neighborhood or whatever, pawn shops. It's what's known as soft mining. In 2012, U.S. geologists put up a page on the website and said by 2025, and it was an article actually. It was an article on the page on the United States Geological Agency website that by 2025, silver would be the first element to go extinct, the first element on the periodic table to go extinct. Within 2 weeks, on that website, it was taken down. That article. I want you to know that one Tomahawk missile has around 500 ounces of silver, and that silver is consumed, and you can't get it back. In November of 2015, President Barack Obama signed an asteroid mining bill into law, and that companies that mined the asteroids would own the metals that they recovered. All right? So, when you privately acquire precious metals, how about this? I'm going to tell you how not to privately, how you don't privately acquire precious metals or real money. You don't do it by a credit card or a debit card. Credit card is attached to the address, typically the home address, same with the debit card. They know how much you paid. It's in the bank statement. They know what you got. It's on the credit card receipt. And they know how much you paid for it. It's not private. Debit card is not private. Buying metals, precious metals online is not private. I do not recommend you do it. I really don't. 2 reasons. Not private. Second reason. Not private. I'm just playing. The second reason is because, and I'll put you on a game. Most of these people online, these dealers that sell precious metals, these companies, these bigger companies, they charge a premium. And that premium on the metal is, you can look at the market for precious metals. You're going to look at a bid price. You're going to see an ask price. So right now, I'm pulling it up. Right now, gold, gold is $1,650.70. It just updated. $1,650.50. That's the ask price. The bid price is $1,649.50. So there's $1 between the bid and the ask. Silver is $18.10 on the ask price. The bid price is $18. So there's 10 cents between the bid and the ask. I think that's because silver's traded so much that they make so much money off each trade. Between the bid and the ask, the spread is so good that they only have to charge 10 cents. I think that's an indicator of the importance of silver as a monetary metal. It's a precious metal as well. It's also an industrial metal. It is being suppressed. You can look up J.P. Morgan traders, bankers, and the company J.P. Morgan itself is being investigated by the Justice Department. More than investigated, I think the charges have been brought against the company itself already. But bid price versus ask price, when you're going to buy or sell, really, you got to look at the bid price, really. So it's only $1 difference in gold, and it's 10 cents difference in silver. When you get into other, metals, there's difference in the spread, but I'm just going to talk about gold and silver. Now, when you look at the bid price or the ask price, we're talking about the bid price of silver and gold. There's what's known as spot price. The spot price is typically about $2. And don't look, I'm not giving you legal advice, man. I'm just telling you what I know, fam. This is not legal advice. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a trader. I'm not giving you trading advice. None of that stuff. Because I don't look at precious metals as trades, fam. But there's what's known as the spot price. Spot price is like about $2, right around $2, $1.50 or so, $1.40, between $1.40 and $2 right now on silver. So if you look at the ask price, it's $18, you got to add about $2, $1.50 or so, $19.40, $19.50, up to $20 to get an ounce, to get it in your hand, to purchase it with Federal Reserve notes. Now gold is different. Spot price is like 40. You got to add like $40, $30, between 30 and 50 sometimes. It changes. It fluctuates. It's called the premium. The spot price, it puts as a premium on top of the spot price. Is what I'm trying to say. So I'm describing the premium that's on top. So when you go into the store and you're looking at the price of gold and silver, you already know this information basically. Is that they're going to charge you a premium on top of what you're looking at, on top of what the market says. Don't freak out. It's natural. You're still going to want to haggle with these fools. And haggle means you don't want to just take the price they tell you. You want to be like, come on, man. I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you how to do it before this episode is done. I'm going to tell you how I do it. I ain't giving you no advice, though. You do your dance. But, so when it comes to precious metals, historically, it's a monetary metal. Gold and silver, historically, it's been like 50 years, I think, because this is 2020. It was in the 70s when the United States finally went off the precious metals monetary, backed system and went straight to fiat. It was in the 70s. A lot of people think it was in the 30s. Well, it's not technically true. They closed the gold window. They confiscated the gold in the 30s. Actually, I think they paid for gold and confiscated the silver, but I'm still researching that. Either way, a lot of people are confused about 1933. It was illegal to have gold up until 1970 something. I can't remember privately, but I saw that, and most people don't understand it or know that, so they're concerned about the confiscation. But it's cool. But moving forward, it was like Woodrow Wilson. I can't remember which president did it. But they'll close the window and took all the currency out of circulation. It was like the 60s, maybe late 60s or something. I don't know. And that's why you can find currency, you can find coins, and even coins, even a nickel today, I think is worth more than $100 bill because that's paper, and then this is actual like metal, some kind of metal. But we're not going to get into that. But there's pre-1964 or 1965 silver is like it's actual. I mean, pre-1965, I think it's 65 coins. I'm not sure, man. Don't quote me on this. Y'all do your own research. But these coins, American coins, had actual silver in them. And today they're known as junk silver. But I'm going to tell you it's not junk. All right, number one. But don't pay too much for them. You got to understand that $1.40 in this pre-1965 or 64 coinage called junk silver is a troy ounce of silver. So about $1.40. It doesn't really mean that you can get halves, quarters, dimes. They don't have nickels. Half, quarters, dimes. They got the Indian nickels or the native nickels or however you call them. Those are more older and stuff. But I'm talking about junk silver. So you got to think $1.40 is like an ounce. So if you're looking to grab junk silver, you should be looking to ask less than, premium on top of spot because, and like I said, it's junk silver. This is kind of supposed to be a bargain. But there was actually real money in the currency. But really, I can't remember what the law is, but there's a law. They put somebody's last name on it and called it somebody's last name law, that the bad money will chase out the good money in a monetary system. So basically, the money that doesn't have any value will chase out the money that does have value. Basically, people who know that there's silver in these coins, once they start releasing coins that don't have silver, they'll start keeping the silver coins. And that's ultimately what happens. So there's a lot of that coins that end up in private hands, and you can get your hands on it relatively easily these days. But like I said, doing it online is not that dance. Doing it with a debit card, with a check, a bank transfer, that's not that dance. It really isn't, man. I'm not really trying to put you away from nothing. Now, the overall intrinsic value is in the metal itself. Now, people want to get into, this is from the Roman Empire, and this is, I don't care how old. It's old. It's older than that because it's gold or silver, fam. And I don't care what was stamped, how it was formed, and y'all can say, so it's got the historical value. Damn the historical value. Excuse my language. And I suggest you think the same way. It's gold, it's silver. And I want to pay the cheapest price for the gold and silver. Because ultimately, the value is intrinsic, which means the value is in the coin itself or in the bar itself. That's where the value is. It has no counterparty risk. It's not like, you hold a Federal Reserve note and the Federal Reserve does something and then the value of the Federal Reserve note drops. No, there's no counterparty risk. If you hold it, you own it. Or maybe if you hold it, you control it, and maybe the trust owns it. If you're doing your, trustee training dance. But nonetheless, this, ultimately you got to think about this. Gold came in, these notes came into existence ultimately because, think about it. If you were traveling and you're a merchant, let's say you roll around and you sell stuff. That's what you do, man. Back in the day, man. You couldn't really do a bunch of stuff that we do today, man. We live in a great time, in a really terrible time. But it's dope. But it's bad. But it's dope. Bad. But it's dope. And, but back to what I'm saying. Let's say you're a merchant and you're going city from city and you're using these roads and stuff, but there's bandits. Wasn't really no police. Wasn't really any sheriff back in the day. And if there were, man, they only did certain dances and there were certain peoples that they didn't take care of. And, you know the deal. So there used to be these posts, like before you went on your trip, you can bring your gold or your silver or your salt or whatever valuable you had. And you bring it to them, to this little post or whatever, and they would give you like a note that said, this person is entitled to the value of, 10 pounds of salt, 2 ounces of gold, 600 ounces of silver, and then they would stamp it. And then when you got to where you were going, you go to the other post and give it to them, and they would give you what you put to the other post or the equivalent. You'd have to negotiate, sometimes. And these were the notes and stuff. And then when banking started popping, the banks would provide really what a bank was a vault. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, banks were just vaults, man. They were responsible. You could put your stuff, and you knew it wasn't going to get jacked because people was robbing people back in the day. The Wild West. Let's just talk about the United States. Let's talk about the United States. Wild West. So the banks had these vaults, and they had people. They had killers, on the payroll with guns and stuff. They're whack. Come over here. Blah blah. What's going down.
Now, hopefully, we didn't lose everybody. Just to reiterate what my mentor is talking about, you gotta understand the way this stuff is popping. The way this stuff is popping, how they're acquiring the precious metals. He's literally giving you a history lesson because this history lesson is designed to put you in the right, the right state of mind with all this stuff that's definitely getting ready to pop off and the stuff that's already popping off. For example, most of the stuff dealing with precious metals, they have right now, especially with the treasury, especially now with all the currency uh, receipts. See, back in the day, banks were vaults, and then they became something else. Okay, and so you gotta really, 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 really understand the fact that what they're doing is they're actually bringing forth certain aspects of this to a point where you can really um, get back into that fold. Now I'm gonna talk about Cecil implementation just for a second while we bring up the audio back from my mentor here. Um, what you got to remember and what you got to pay real close attention to is the fact that current expected credit losses can be used as a hedge to regain some of that commercial energy, which can be applied in this direction. Now, again, we're not professing to give legal advice or any of that other stuff. All we're simply saying is that we're here to bring forth a couple of things that can actually be utilized in this initial structure. But I want to be real clear. And what I mean by being real clear, we have a lot of individuals that when you get off into commerce and we start talking about accounting, I'm not saying it's a mixed bag. I'm going to say it like this. A lot of individuals are looking at the fact that in commerce they have not been keeping track of their transactions properly. Like they'll go out and do a transaction. Like today, in the aspect of ceasing implementation, I'm looking through a lot of the accounts of a lot of individuals, and I'm expecting to see certain ledgers that come across substantiating their transactions for 2019. That way, that gives us a clear snapshot of exactly how to recapture and recover that commercial energy to the estate, which means you're going to have complex books of business. And having complex books of business gives you the ability to actually bring this back. And then as long as you don't go into a certain jurisdiction, you can get the goodies. What are the goodies? Real money. Um, True intrusive value assets. And again, there's a lot of things that you can get off into. Like I'm going to share with you a document. So give me a second. Bear with me here while I bring it up. See if I can share my screen with everybody. And again, I hope everybody who is actually on the YouTube can actually see my. You'll be able to see what I'm getting ready to put up. Let's see here if I can see if I can bring it here. Trying to bring it up. While I'm trying to bring it up, we're gonna see how it goes. See what we can come up with. In the meantime, here we go. All right, let's see. Here we go. Got that document up. That's going up. All right. And there's a specific document that I want to go hard in the paint with here. All right. So okay, I got that in. So let me minimize that. Go over here to the let's see. Yeah, let me go back because I think my line dropped with my mentor here. I'm gonna jump back in. So just bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second. Bear with me for a second. Okay. So while that's doing what it do, we finna turn up here. So give me a second here. Let's see here. 514. 514. Let's see what I got here. Think I got the document that I'm looking for. Let's see here. What I got here in the 510. Oh. Nothing right there. Let's go to our document screen. And when I bring up these documents, I'm hoping everybody will be able to see it. So let me first load it up first. Let's see what I got here. See, I got a couple of documents, but it's one particular accounting ledger that I really want to emphasize here. And I only want to emphasize it because a lot of folks, they don't get a chance to see it in real time. They have an idea, but they really are unsure. They've heard a lot of stuff, but they really are unclear. So I'm really just more or less just trying to make sure that those of you that are no longer in Kansas anymore, you understand why you're no longer in Kansas. Okay, here we go. I'm coming up to it. I just got to find it. And let's see, this is all right. So now let me go here because I know I got it in this one right here. Let's go to my accounting information. And again, this particular manual is over 400 pages. A lot of individuals who are in our trustee training and actually in their accounting services classes. Well, actually, if you're working to be CISA compliant, you should already have this ledger that I'm talking about. Well, actually, you should have this actual PDF because it's a real good one that we go through. And I bring it up because I want you to kind of get this in how you gonna say it? I ain't gonna say it. I want you to get it in real time. I don't want you to like speculate and say, this, that, and the other. I want you to know that you know that you know. In order for you to know that you know that you know, you got to see it. You got to see it. And I know for a lot of my people, seeing is believing. I get all of that. So again, I don't want you to take my word for it. I don't want you to get locked in what Bezel said. No, I am giving you the information exactly how I got it. So that way you got it, so you'll get it. You feel me? Because the truth is not up for debate. I'm not here to debate the truth. I'm not gonna argue the truth. Oh man, my guy Ian, man, I don't know if y'all caught that broadcast the other day, man, but I totally forgot, that how Ian had went in on a lot of the stuff that he was bringing forth. Like, shots out goes out to a lot of the fellas that are actually going forth and putting in the work to get this information to everyone. A lot of folks don't realize just the sacrifices of what's actually being made. I mean, really, they just don't have a clue. What I'm saying is, like my guy Ian, while I'm waiting on this document to load up, Ian put so much information out and made a network. And see, a lot of people want remedies, but they are not looking at the the part of it where you have to get in alignment with the information that you're dealing with. And then you don't want to put emphasis on the information is good or bad. Like I hear people say, well, you know what, I applied this and it just didn't work for me, Bazelle. So what's up with that? And I have to literally look at you like, yeah, what's up with that? Because I mean, if it worked for me and it worked for someone else, it didn't work for you. There ain't nothing wrong with the information. It's the individual who's utilizing it. And I know that's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow. I can't imagine. I can't believe a lot of people who their mentality of just how they think they're entitled to something just because. Just because. Like I give an example, and I'm not going to cause controversy here, but I'm gonna give you a point. You guys have heard of the Amish, right? How is it that the Amish community can operate privately, in my opinion, and not have a whole bunch of issues? But yet, some other groups, you put in paperwork, it's this, it's that. What's up with that? I got my own speculation, but I'm going to say for the record, I think it has a lot to do not with the information, but the individuals who are disseminating the information. And what I've learned working with accounting is that, look, you're gonna have to come to the realization that you're either you're gonna get it together. You're gonna get it together and get in line with this information, or this information is going to literally I ain't gonna say force you off the square. Let me say it a different way. You're either gonna get it together, or what's gonna happen is just as fast as information has found you, it's gonna leave you. Because see, it's too many variables in this information that's designed to help those that apply the principles. So you gotta apply the principles. You got to apply the principles. Here we go. Here's the document. And you see, and see how that just loaded up. And I'm not saying anything. I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. I think I just probably like my grandmother said, I ain't holding my mouth right. I think that's what it is. So let me go here, see if I can bring this document up here. Alright, and now I'm gonna go over here. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And there we have it. You guys are actually seeing the you're seeing the document, you're seeing it. Alright, so now that you see this document. We're finna go down to it because this is all right, and you should be seeing what it says: financial accounting. This is gonna be the document that I'm gonna go hard in the paint in, and a lot of people miss this. I'm gonna tell you why they miss it. All right, there's a section I always tell students. I always tell people to read this, and I can tell when they haven't looked at it because of the questions that I get. And like my mentor is going in on it, and if you want to hear that broadcast in its entirety, I will have it up on WTDTA radio. So don't sweat. Don't get your panties in a bunch. We just got stuff to do. Now, I want you to understand accounting concepts and conventions. Accounting concepts and conventions. Okay? Now, follow along. There's ample confusion and controversy as to the meaning of the nature of accounting principles. There is a school of thought which believes that the term principle connotes fundamental beliefs or a general truth. As such, it is incorrect to use this term with the reference to accounting because accounting merely as an art is only an adoption for the attainment of some useful and beneficial results. Adaptation inherently implies the changing nature and hence a sharp contradiction to the meaning of the term principle, which stands for the fundamental truth. There is another school of thought which feels that the term principle means only rule. You seeing this? Means rule. And then again, let me bring it back. I'm coming back, family. Give me a second. My little mouse went haywire on me. All right. Rule of action or conduct as such can be very correctly used with reference to the rules used in accounting. The American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, or what we call AICPA, has also supported the use of the word principle in the sense in which it means rule of action. It has defined the principle as a general law or rule adopted or professed as a guide to action and settled ground or basis of conduct or practice. Plato and Lydian, in order to avoid the confusion as to the meaning of the term principle, has purposely used the new term standards in place of principle. Principles would generally suggest a universality and a degree of permanence which cannot exist in a human service institution such as accounting. Here are the essential features of accounting, and this should not go over your head. Accounting principles are acceptable when they, in general, satisfy the following three basic norms. They have to, number A, satisfy usefulness. That's number one. Number two, they have to satisfy objectivity. Objectivity. To object, it has to meet that. It has to satisfy that norm. And then third, feasibility. Accounting principles satisfy the first basic feature of usefulness as much as because of these the accounting records become more meaningful and useful to the reader. In other words, an accounting rule which does not increase the utility of the record to its readers is not accepted as an accounting principle. In other words, if you're just filling out tax forms, that is not accounting. Let's be clear. People associate filling out a tax form as accounting, when accounting principles must satisfy usefulness, objectivity, and feasibility. And that form is written from a certain perspective. So your accounting principles have to be already established before the user utilizes those tax forms. Now we keep going. The accounting principles, listen to this. Accounting principles is that which is objective in nature. It is said to be objective when it is solidly supported by facts. Current expected credit losses. This must be supported by facts. It is objective when it cannot be influenced by personal bias and whims. See, credit losses, you're allowed to get those credit losses back if you are a what? Creditor. Because creditors are giving away credit. So credit decreases their normal balance. So they should unequivocally be able to get those credit losses back. You see how this is going together? I keep explaining this rule to trustees in a way where it becomes repetitious, in a way where you can see how it applies, in a way where you can apply this in moving forward with substantiating your books in order for your accounting to line up with your activities in trusteeship, because you're ultimately engaging in commerce. Here's the next principle. Accounting principles should be as against at market price. This accounting principle is practicable and feasible because it does not entail the difficult work of ascertaining the market price of that asset. It does not make it obligatory. It doesn't make it obligatory for the accountant to record all fluctuations in the price of that asset. Understand what our mentor was talking about when he was talking about how banks at one point were once vaults. And because they were once vaults, you could actually store your valuables there until something changed with the rules. I'm going to tell you, today started the first rollout of the aspect of treasury appropriations that were already placed. And those of you that are actually in this broadcast, keep your shirt on, because I have already been engaged with the Internal Revenue Service the first half of the day. And those of you that actually have profiles, your stuff is actually being processed. But I will personally get you some information in the Bitrix space pertaining to your case file as it comes up. I don't want everybody to just, bombard me with, because I'm going to ask you some stuff about accounting, because I got asked a whole bunch of stuff about accounting that I know a lot of you are not ready for. I'm going to be honest with you. I know you're not ready for it because of what I'm about to read. To distinguish accounting principles from the sense in which the term principles is used in physical science, various other terms like postulates, concepts, conventions, doctrines, tenets, maxioms, assumptions, etc., have been used by writers of accounting theory. Instead of wasting our time to discuss the precise meaning of these generic terms, we should concern ourselves with the significance and importance of these ideas in the practical work of the accountants. However, a slight distinction is made between the two concepts and conventions. The term concept is used to connote the accounting postulates, i.e., necessary assumptions and ideas which are fundamental to accounting practice. The term convention is used to signify customs or traditions as a guide to the preparation of accounting statements. Now, this is why I said most are not ready. I keep talking about concepts, accounting concepts, and I talk about conventions like the Hague Convention. Why am I talking about this? Because these are the two things that are like in trust. These are your trust regs. These set the tone for your rules. The questions you're asking in commerce is because you haven't thought about the concept or the convention associated with your accounting. So you're looking for something external to define that. I'll give you an example. If I am saying Moors collect a tributary tax, and then you want to pay the tax, I scratch my head because there's nothing wrong with that. When I say you can't serve two masters, I'm saying you need to pick the thing that's most advantageous to your state. So what usually happens is that you're not thinking you are more when you are doing accounting. Let me give you a clue. Do you understand the entire numeral system, the number system, algebra, mathematics was given to the world by Moors? So if we gave the world math, accounting is a fruit of mathematics. Why wouldn't you accept the accounting concept and convention most advantageous to your family estate? Why are you making this way more difficult than it need to be? I tell you why. Because we trust and believe what we have the most experience in. We've never really dealt with real money or dealt with elodial title or any of these other things that we're trying on for the first time, and it feels like a shirt that's too big or a pair of shoes that's too small. Or let me say it another way: the shoes are a little too big and the shirt is a little too big. We don't actually feel that we are filling it out properly. So we want confirmation. Now again, I work to give you the information that's necessary to get you to that particular point. But I'm literally looking for you to be able to move in a capacity where you can utilize this information effectively. And in order for you to utilize it effectively, you have to know who you are in these transactions. And in order for you to know in order for you to know where you're going, you got to know where you came from. Yes, and approximately, actually, I'm mistaken. This actual document is 944 pages. Wow, almost 1,000 pages. So with that being said, I'm hoping that this is starting to open your eyes to exactly what it is and what it isn't. Because if you don't quite get that, it gets a little, I ain't gonna say crazy. It just gets a little, it gets a little different. And what I mean by it gets a little different, we have a tendency to not look at things properly. We kind of fall into this mysticism of something external of us is going to make our books all better. It's just like trying to teach a client, like a lot of people that are getting tax refunds, they're happy because they're satisfied with getting Federal Reserve notes. But the truth of the matter is, when you get a tax refund, that means you screwed up on the math. You made a mistake. So the mere fact that you're getting a tax refund shows that you're incompetent because you don't have any books of business. So what you're relying upon, which is going to be a crutch, is an enabler, because when the rules, which the rules have changed, kick in, you're going to have to get with the program. And so a lot of people, it's a big stretch. They just, I just want to get a refund, Bezel. Well, I'm saying, getting a refund is easy. Keeping it is the work. I mean, you create that jurisdiction, you're going to have to live and die by it, and you're going to have to stand on it. And the problem is, see those two executive orders that my mentor kind of put out there? You thank Barack Obama for that one. I told you guys, that's ancient history. I hear old Beanie Weenie in my head now saying, well, you just got to let them know. And that's what I did. Shouts out to all the family there at WTDTA Radio, man. Without you guys, it would not be no us, man. I'm still holding it down. I'm still doing what I'm here to do, man. So, hey, like I said, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do, and we got a short time to actually do it. So we just gotta, keep our head in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gotta do. We gotta keep our head in the game. We gotta stay in that stay in that capacity. Now, what's most influential about what I've learned and what I've been watching, listening, and all that good stuff in the aspect of information is that most of us have to be um, on point when it comes to certain things. We have to be on point when it comes to um, accounting. We have to be on point with how this information is actually being articulated out. We have to be very careful in terms of who gets certain information, how it's being, delivered or disseminated. That's why I try to, over here in trustee training, what we try to do is we try to give you the fundamental concepts. You got the fundamental concepts, you can make a decision from there exactly where one needs to be and what one can actually do. Um, let's see. Uh, we're gonna go back. Hopefully I'm gonna see if you guys see the documents again. I'm gonna go back to it and see if it actually let's see. I'm gonna put it back in there. Let's see if it'll 'cause I know what it is. They're trying not to let you guys see what I got going on here, but no fear. Let's see if I can straighten that out for you, like they say. Straighten it out. You guys should be able to see my document here, and let's see here. Let's see if everybody can see my document. I'm going to go back into it and see if it'll let it connect here. Because it's showing that I got a good signal here, so you guys should be able to see. You should be able to see what I'm putting out there. You should be able to see it. You should be able to see it. It should be like a no-brainer. You guys should be able to see the document that I just went over. Hopefully, in essence, this information is designed to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to move in that regard. Let's see here. I know what it is. So let me do this. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Because something happened. Yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah, here we go. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. Cause see, we got a lot of people that's coming in on the other broadcast there and the other one. So let me just see if I can. Let's see. Let's see if I can bring this thing up. Let's see how it's gonna work.
He's my brother, so it's just worth getting it right. We go to Private Side Solutions. Outside Solutions and STC. I'm pretty sure it's on here. Oh no. Hold on. Let me go there. Alright, so
That's it? That's it? The PrivateSideSolutions.com?
Yeah, I thought it was, but I mean, maybe I typed it in wrong. But I think I might have been having problems with my internet, or he's working on his site. But yeah, I mean, it's SPC University Private Side Solutions or something like that. But it's his site. Private Side Solutions is Yusuf's site.
Gotcha.
And that's where he does it. SPC University. I know that much.
Okay, and so I'm going to email you about my question deal with child support and about your mentorship as soon as I get off the phone with you.
Okay, yeah, shoot me an email.
All right, big brother, appreciate you. Have a good night.
Appreciate you, man. You too as well, man. Peace.